as always, and for anybody that's new, man, we always give the Most High's praise. To God be the glory. What a fun game to be a part of. Really cool to see two teams that compete at a high level with two really passionate fan bases behind them to support them. I'm just thankful that we came out victorious. Really proud of our group. Because coming on the road in a Big 12 environment and getting a win like this, it just continues to establish the things we want to do and who we want to be as a program.
Okay, we'll open up questions for the players first.
Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports. 2 questions for both of you. After being snubbed by the NCAA, this was a statement game for you guys, wasn't it?
You say it. No, you say it.
Somebody.
No, I mean, you know, I think the biggest thing for us was, yeah, we felt like we should have been in there, but you know, this is still a great opportunity for us, and I think that's just the biggest thing, you know, staying focused and being in the moment, and you know, still got a lot more games to go win.
For sure. We just got to share out the moments we got. Of course, a great opportunity here for us to keep playing, keep showing who we are. Of course, we wanted to be there, but at the same time, we're not going to put our heads down. We're just going to keep going. We love to play. I mean, if we can win this, we're going to keep playing as a team.
It's all about survive and advance, isn't it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for the players?
You guys were very proficient from the three-point line tonight, and that may have been the difference in the game. You guys were 13 of 24. Could you just speak to how proficient you guys were from long range?
I mean, I think that's just, you know, coach instills that confidence in us. We instill that confidence in each other, you know, and ball movement, ball energy, and just trusting each other. Like, you know, we talk about that all the time, like making the right play, playing for each other. And then when we do that, you know, we tend to shoot the ball pretty well.
Selton, how intense was it tonight? It looked pretty intense.
Yeah, he was. It was pretty intense. I mean, it's a rivalry game from last year. We was 2-0, so we knew coming in it would be a pretty intense game. I told Coach Amir we came in last year, and then we knew how it would be. So I told the guys, just keep your head up, because you don't know what's gonna happen. Just stay focused and keep playing the game.
Something on that note, there's a lot of new guys on your team, a lot of new guys on UCF that didn't play in these games last year. They're not as familiar with the war on I-4. You're a guy that's been around a couple years. What did you kind of tell your teammates about this rivalry, and what was the experience out there playing these guys?
Oh, I told them it would be intense, like I said before. I told them just be ready, because you don't know like what's gonna happen, because it's just a rivalry. UCF, USF, it's been like that for years. Our guys listening to me, because I know I'll be in there, so we came ready to play, and then we just wanted to win.
You guys had that, you know, big lead going into the half, but then in the second half, you know, UCF came back, cut it within 2, and, you know, it felt like it stayed that way forever. But you guys managed to, you know, keep them from taking the lead and eventually rebuild that large lead. What does that say about your team, that you guys were able to handle that offensive onslaught?
I don't know if you see our season. Most of the games it was almost down. We came back second half, so when we go down like that, ain't no pressure. I mean, we've been there, so we just stay focused. Keep doing the same game plan, and just trust each other.
Jose, you're from Orlando. Coming back home, how important is it to win this game?
I mean, I think it's important to win the game, because, you know, we're trying to, like you said, survive and advance. But I mean, it is sweet playing in front of the home crowd, and I say home crowd because I'm from Orlando. But you know, it was pretty good though. It was a good show. You know, SoFlo Rodeo. Shout out to SoFlo. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome seeing, looking up, seeing my family, seeing a bunch of friends that I haven't seen in a while. So, it was a cool moment.
Selton, it's what, 5 in the morning over when they're watching the
Yeah,
game?
basically, yeah.
They got to stay up, but a lot of family watching?
Yeah, they did stay up.
They
A
got
couple
a
people stay
performance
up.
tonight.
A lot of people stay up. Like I said, my country support me no matter what. They know we didn't go to NCAA, but they still go support until we do this. So, yeah.
We talked about your proficiency at the three-point line today, but you were also proficient over at the free throw line as well, getting 22 compared to UCF's 12. I know UCF has kind of had that fear of the Fromm thing where they're trying to distract you as much as possible. Just what was your mindset getting going in the free throw line?
So just stay ready because, I mean, every practice we do a drill. After every practice on 21, we got to make 21 free throws before league practice. So we just got to stay ready and be ready to shoot when we come to the lines.
Anything else for the players?
What's the biggest thing that you want to take with you from tonight as you move on to the next round?
I mean, I think we just, you know, I think that okay.
It's a late night.
So yeah, it's late. Man, I would just say like we gotta watch it and learn from it, and then flush it and move on. I think the biggest thing is breaking it down, seeing what mistakes we did, and then fixing those for whoever we play next.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
What do you want that? With the lockers.
Buddy, bro.
All right, we'll open it up for Coach.
I can hear you, Leo. You don't need that microphone.
Coach, you know you're going to get these. Coach, 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
Every run UCF made, you answered. How proud of your guys of that?
Man, I'm very proud of them because it's something that we've been talking about since last summer. I've told you this story before. We make our summer workouts in the weight room very intense, and every Friday we go outside the weight room. We find somewhere on campus in Tampa, and we do what we call a Friday road game for nights like this, where we take them somewhere foreign. They hadn't been. They don't know what to expect. And our strength coach, Cody DeQuitz, I think he's the best in the country. Because he's passionate. He loves these guys. He cares about them. But man, he comes up with some hellacious workouts, right? And it puts them in adverse situations that they have to depend on one another. Their response has to be good in order to get through it. And nights like tonight, where UCF, they're a good team, man. They're well coached. I think the world of Coach Dawkins. I truly do. I know it's a rivalry, but I think amongst, coach to coach, you look at how a guy runs a program and the success that they've had. The one thing I'm not is a hater. Like, I'm gonna give props where props are due. So to be able to respond in this environment against that team, that coach, man, I'm really proud of. And I'm proud of those Friday road games. They're only gonna get a little crazier this summer.
Coach, at the park or the rec center,
Yeah.
all you say is who's got next. Does it even matter who shows up next?
I said it on the radio. As the great Bart Scott said, can't wait. Can't wait.
Question over here.
Is it Bart Scott? I'm right? Bart Scott? For the Jets? Wasn't that his last name?
Yeah.
Bart Scott? Yeah. Can't wait.
Coach, in your first season as USF head coach, you've already led this team to a postseason victory, their first in a while. I'm curious, personally, how does this win just feel for you?
To be honest, I hadn't thought about it. And again, I know you were at UCF, so you hadn't heard this before. I'm one of 13 siblings, or kids. I can't talk about myself. So I don't think about the win for me as much as I think about the win for USF. The fact that until we get another game on the books, we got bragging rights for a while, right? And I know President Law gets to call whoever the president is here and have a good time with them, right? And give them a hard time. And I think about, again, our fan base. I think about our fans being able to walk around and say, you know what, we beat UCF and Florida State in the same year. It's a big deal for me because I want our fans to be proud of our university and I want them to love our program, and I think they do.
Coach, how good did you feel, how confident did you feel in your guys down the stretch there, the final 2 minutes, when you knew it was going to come down to free throws, as proficient as you guys have been from the line?
Again, I felt really good because I tell them all the time, guys, your confidence should come from your preparation. It should come from your work. And these guys, they work, man. We talked about, we had to deal with some disappointment, like some real disappointment. We've had some losses this year, and you got to flush those pretty quick, and you get another opportunity, right? But when you work as hard as we worked and did the things that we did, and you don't get the invite to the tournament you wanted, it stung a little bit. But as I told them, I said, look, guys, I told you a long time ago, I'm in the business of building men, all right? And how you handle disappointment, not just now, but how you handle it in your life, is only going to determine the success that comes your way after that. So we got to deal with this disappointment, and the way we deal with it is we get back to work. We get back, and they came into practice, man. We didn't have to fight them on their energy, their effort, their enthusiasm. They were ready to roll.
Coach, when you came in to coach this team, you weren't sure the next time that these two teams, this rivalry was going to get played again, being in different conferences. This tournament gave you the opportunity to experience that rivalry and see the emotions that rivalry can kind of, elicit firsthand with some of the incidents on the court tonight. Just what was your experience out there seeing this rivalry kind of play out?
You hear people talk about rivalries, right? And you really, I've been some places before. I spent some time as an assistant at Murray State, and people would talk about Austin Peay and Murray State, how it was a rivalry. That it was a real rivalry. Same with Western Kentucky, it was a real rivalry. And so I've been at Texas A&M, right? And they, if you guys remember this, when Texas started the Longhorn Network or whatever it was, something happened where they stopped playing each other for a while. Well, it was similar to this. We ended up playing them in the Battle of Atlantis for the first time. I think it was like in 7 or 8 years, and it was a real rivalry. And I was really excited to get. I just wanted to see how real the rivalry was. Oh, it's a real rivalry. And I know Coach Dawkins and I, we said we'll talk and see if we can't figure out a way to keep it going, because I think it's great for both teams. It's an opportunity for both teams to get a quality win. It's an opportunity for our fan bases to see great basketball. It's a great opportunity for the state of Florida, man. I get we're a football state. I'm not going to even sit here and act like we're not. But, man, think about the basketball in the state of Florida right now. I think it's pretty dang good across the board. So if we can keep our rivalry going, for the next few years, man, it'll be good for everybody involved.
Coach, when things got chippy, was there any way you can keep the composure throughout the team?
It's like a catch-22, because I want our guys to be tough, right? I don't want our guys to back down from anything. But as I tell them all the time, I'm not young, but I try to stay young by being around them. And the great street poet Nipsey Hussle, he has a song called "Double Up," and Dom Kennedy in that song, he has a bar in that song. It's such a strong message, and I talk to our guys about this all the time. But the bar, he says, sometimes your response is the reason you exist, right? Like, you think about that, and I tell these guys all the time, man, they're gonna go out, they're gonna be college kids, right? But they have to have a certain level of emotional maturity to be able to make great decisions. So whether it's off the court, whether it's on the court, we got to have a high level of emotional maturity, and I'm on them about it all the time. If you ask them how many times they had to run sprints for a lack of emotional maturity early in the season, man, they'd be like, they couldn't even count, right? But our emotional maturity is really good because we hold them accountable in practice, because things get chippy in practice. We're competitive. We want practice hard, so the game is not easy, but the game is we're right at home with it. It's like practice. And if you'll fight your brother, imagine what you'll do to the dude you don't know, right?
There you go.
So, Coach, you said you and Coach Dawkins, both of you guys are on board with trying maybe to start a series beginning next season.
I said we're going to talk.
You'll talk.
I think we're going to talk.
Okay, so
we'll
it's
see.
not that advanced yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, just what did you think of just the atmosphere? I know it's a late game,
No,
it's a
it's-
difficult trip because being so late spring break, but what did you think of the
Our
building
fans
tonight?
might get mad at me. My AD's back there. He might get mad at me, but it was a great environment. But I tell you this: if you would have been in that Yingling Center this year, oof, if this joint would have been in that Yingling Center tonight, oof, it would have been jumping. I'm telling you, it would have been jumping. But no, it was a great environment, and who wouldn't want to play in it? I always say, my fondest memories of basketball were high school, when you had those real rivalries, with the school 10 minutes down the road from you, and I'm from Georgia, and I went to Wheeler High School, and when you played Walton High School, man, it didn't matter how good either team, it was gonna be intense. And that's what I felt tonight. And I think games like this prepare you for March. They prepare you for the NCAA tournament. So I think, both myself and Coach Dawkins, we'd be doing ourselves a disservice to be able to to not play this game because it's easy travel too. You know, you're not really taxing your team's body, you know, very much traveling. You know, you're able to get back, and if you got a game in 2 or 3 days, you're able to get back, you know, recovered and go from there. But I think it's great for both schools. I think it's great for our state. I think it's great for college basketball. I do.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, in November, you're 3-3. Since December, you're 23-4.
Say that again.
You're 3-3 in November. You're 23-4 since December 1. Haven't lost a home game. What was the metamorphosis? What happened to change this team into the winner they are?
Winning takes time. It doesn't always take 3 years, right? Not when you can get a group of guys to trust each other, believe in each other, and get them to believe and trust in you. And that's what we were able to do. We're very intentional about our relationships in our program. We're very intentional about not letting things fester. If somebody has something to say, like it's an environment where they know they can say what they want to say and not be judged for it, not be, you know, ridiculed for it or punished for it. You know, like seriously, like I'm not, like if they tell me I need to be better, right? And I know at times I need to be better. I'm not gonna make them run 100 wind sprints because like if I'm telling you, if I'm asking you to be, you know, hey, you gotta accountability, you gotta allow yourself to be held accountable. Well, I gotta be the example of that accountability, right? And I tell them all the time, especially, you know, Chris Youngblood, if you ever see him come put his arm around me during the game, he telling me, Coach, you gotta relax, all right? You gotta relax, all right? You're getting a little bit too caught up in the officiating. And see why I got you, babe, right? But the metamorphosis was, again, we took a really tough loss at Hofstra, you know, an embarrassing loss. We didn't play very hard. We didn't compete at the level that we wanted to compete at, that we should compete at. And then the next day we went to UMass to practice, not to play, to practice. And man, them dudes, man, they were chomping at the bit. And I thought that practice was the catalyst to the rest of our season. And I'm gonna just say this, I have to, because, and I'm 100% focused on the NIT and being the best we can be and being grateful for this opportunity, right? But I just think we gotta, and I say we as collegiate sport, we gotta do a better job of understanding each situation. I say we, my staff and I, we took over a program, we inherited a schedule. We were only able to add, I think it was 3 games to the schedule because there were already home and homes built in. We were already playing in the Orange Bowl Classic against Florida State. We didn't necessarily have a chance to schedule, right, to put ourselves in a position that some of the other teams did. But again, since December what? We're 23-4?
December 1st.
December 1st, we're 23-4. How, like, did anybody on the committee know that? Like, did they study that, right? And if they didn't, like, we gotta be better. And I say the same thing for Coach Schertz and his crew at Indiana State, man. Like, what are we doing, right? Like, again, I have all the respect in the world for Coach Dawkins and this program, but we just walked into a Big 12 Power 5 school on the road and got a win. And so now we're 23-4
since December 1.
Man, what we doing? But you know what? It is what it is. Their fault. They don't get to see our brand. Everybody in the NIT does.
Coach, this
Last
game,
question.
we've talked about how this game has, been a major sense of, the rivalry and how big it is because of the rivalry. But obviously, this is the first game in a tournament. So how do you pivot from a game like this to get to the next round against either Villanova or VCU?
Yeah, the season, it teaches you a ton of different things. I can remember playing FAU. We played FAU on a Sunday, and I mean, it was a great game, great environment, really emotional, high-level game. And then we had to turn right back around, I think, and we played that Saturday. And so we allowed them to enjoy it for about 24 hours, and then they got to flush it. We got to move on because, who knows with the seeding and however it goes, but whether we'll be at home or on the road, but you're going to get a good VCU team and a national championship program team like Villanova. We got to flush it because we want to keep playing.
All right, thanks, everybody.